Hey everybody, if you're a mom who struggles with adding self-care into your life, okay, then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 7 ways that you can add self-care into your life as a mom. So if you're interested in that, then let's jump into it. So I think it's first important to know that being a mom is like one of the toughest jobs. You are just on all the time, and it can be really hard to prioritize yourself because you get that mommy guilt. You start to wonder, okay, am I choosing me over my kids? And that's never really a good feeling. But listen, self-care is so important. You can't take care of your family if you don't first take care of yourself. So let's jump into some ways that you can add self-care into your life as a mama, okay? Tip number 1 is to set boundaries. I know it's like, listen, as a mom, there are no boundaries with kids. That's why you got to teach them. You have to designate, okay, mommy time, kids time. For myself, after 8:30, I'm like, listen, mommy is not on. I am not on duty unless it is emergency. And that's something that I've reinforced constantly. And that's a way for me to say, hey, I am available to you, but after this certain point, I'm not available to you anymore. And guess what? I'm able to wake up refreshed. I'm able to take the nighttime to reset, care for myself so that I can wake up and be a good mom. But I have to first set that boundary and say, hey, this is my time. Reclaiming my time. So don't be scared to set that boundary. It's going to be hard in the beginning because they're going to be like, what are you doing? I need all of you. And so you're going to want to cave, want to compromise, but you got to remember that a burnt out version of you does nobody good. So it's important to set boundaries. Tip number 2 is to prioritize sleep. So piggybacking off those boundaries, prioritizing sleep. I used to really try to just make the most of nighttime. I used to run myself ragged, have this big to-do list. Okay, after the kids, I'm gonna do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm wondering why I'm waking up frazzled. I'm wondering why I'm waking up tired, depleted. And then guess what? If I don't get it done that night, I'm super disappointed and stressed out, bringing that into my next day. So I have learned that, you know what? This is my bedtime. I gotta go to sleep regardless. That's my cutoff. Whatever doesn't get done gets pushed to the next day, but I'm not going to be able to do those things if I'm tired, if I'm sluggish, because the mind and the body won't function without sleep. So don't feel like you can sacrifice sleep. No, that myth may work when you're not a mama because you only got to take care of you. But when you a mom, listen, it's a whole nother ball game. Sleep is very important. Tip number 3 is to practice mindfulness. This is really, really good for my gentle parenting moms out there because stress can sometimes come out in the form of frustration and anger, and we don't want to project that onto other people. So practicing mindfulness is a great way to center you, to de-stress you, to help you focus on the present moment. A great way to do that is with deep breathing exercises. And so you can breathe in, inhale gently for 5 breaths, and then you can exhale deeply and gently for 5 breaths. And you can do that anytime. So don't feel like you have to practice mindfulness for hours or 30 minutes. Like I try to do it sometimes in the car, in between tasks. Sometimes I say, hey, me and the kids, because I got 3 of them. I'm like, listen, we often do some deep breathing right now. And so I'm also modeling, right, healthy coping skills as well. But it's also giving me that space that I need. So don't feel like you also have to do it by yourself. Do it with the kids, do it outside, do it in the car, do it in the shower, in the bed, wherever you need to do it. Gather yourself so that you can feel collected and present yourself in the way that you want to. Number 4 is exercise. And this can kind of be a little scary for everybody because everybody has different versions of exercise. The version that I have for exercise a couple years ago is not the same right now. I've really tailored it to say, you know what, whatever I can do. If that's a brisk walk, if that's practicing some yoga, I've gotten really into bar classes, and that's been really great because my body can't really handle CrossFit anymore like it used to, but I just don't limit it. If I have 10 minutes, I'm making the most of it. And guess what? I'm praising and celebrating myself for that. So make sure that for you, getting your body moving in some type of capacity refreshes you, energizes you, gets those good endorphins going so that you can present that positive mindset and have that positive energy for your kids and for yourself. Tip number 5 is to make time for friends. As a mom, your whole world just feels like it revolves around your kids. I'm a cheer mom, a soccer mom, a dance mom. So it just feels like, oh my gosh, I'm always busy, always on the go. But it's important to be intentional about making those connections so you can feel supported, so that you can have your own identity outside of your kids. Yes, I'm a mom. Yes, I'm a wife, but I was brought into this world, well, as a child of God, but then I was brought into this world as Rashawnda. So my identity as Rashawnda can't be lost. And so making those connections with my friends is a beautiful reminder to also just take care of myself, laugh, have fun, have new experiences, talk about things other than kids. And that's just like a great reminder to say, hey, like I am prioritizing myself and it feels really good. That way I don't feel like I'm always sacrificing when I am with my kids, and it doesn't come out in, kind of those little subtle like anger or resentment because I'm taking you here and I'm not taking myself. It's like, listen, I'm gonna be mom, but then I'm also gonna do Rashawnda too. Tip number 6 is to practice self-love. I feel like this is so hard for moms. We are so hard on ourselves. We are either trying to break generational curses, we're trying to live up to these unrealistic expectations, trying to save our kids from everything that we messed up on. And that's just a lot of burden. Like my shoulders are even tired from thinking about it, but we don't take the time to really praise ourselves and celebrate ourselves. It was really hard for me to love my new mommy body. And so I really had to practice positive affirmations. I had to practice, really affirming and accepting like this version of me and loving it fiercely. Okay. Like loving it fiercely and not just being caught up on these other, I would say this other image that I had of myself. Again, that's that identity as Rashawnda versus identity as a mom. I had to mesh them together, but really give both of them that space. And so I really like to wake up in the morning, practice mindfulness, also practice positive words, celebrating myself. And it's just a beautiful way to say, you know what? I love me. And tip number 7 is to take breaks. We are always on the go. Either we're scheduling something, we're planning something, we got to be here, we got to be there, we got to cook, we got to clean, we got to do a lot of different things. So taking breaks is not something that comes to mind. I know it's definitely not something that comes to mind for myself. So I have to schedule, I have to be intentional, I have to have accountability for it. So I tell my husband, I tell my friends, like, listen, I don't really know zero. So it's something that I had to cultivate and embrace and learn and make it a habit for myself. So now taking breaks is a part of my routine. I am really actually resting, not that fake resting where my mind is going a mile a minute, but my body still. No, like complete rest. And that has been such a game changer for me showing up the way that I want to show up and just feel good about myself overall. So don't be afraid to take breaks. It really helps with preventing burnout. It helps also with you resetting and saying, okay, well, what do I need to do? What tasks do I need to do? And it doesn't feel overwhelming and you don't feel stressed out. So it's important to take breaks. They're necessary. So all in all, self-care practices will look different for everybody, but what's important is that you find what practices work best for you so that you can feel supported, so that you can feel healthy, so you can feel mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically grounded in your best. So take care of your well-being. I hope these tips were helpful for you. If they were, like this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you get on out of here. I've also done another video on journaling and self-care ideas. So definitely make sure you check those out so we can keep this train going for caring for ourselves. So as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.